Hello, 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 and welcome and happy Sunday. Today is December 4th, 2022. And just in case you're wondering, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck, founder of Holistic Fitness, mother, and a wife. And we are in literally, 3 weeks left of 2022? I don't know about you, but that's just blowing my mind. Well, you are here with me today, and today is an amazing day because it's a day of demo. What does that mean? My guest and volunteer will be coming on in a little while to demo a card reading. But before we dive into that, please do me a favor, share, like, and put in the comments what it is that's inspiring you to come watch the show week after week. And what are you learning? How are you healing? After all, that's what the show is about, is to heal from within. So share, like, and comment. Now, if you missed the last episode, which took place on November 20th, today is part 2 of that. So if you missed that episode, please go back and watch. And you can do that by watching on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and of course right here as well. But do it later. You're definitely going to want to go and find out about the guest today and how she landed and created her own deck of cards to do the readings that she will be demonstrating today. So with all that being said, again, share, like, and comment. I'd like to give a shout out to all my amazing, amazing partners that help to make this show run week after week. And we're going to start off with Joe Monkman. He's our shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. CJ Ives Lopez, she's the host and publisher of the Author's Porch magazine and podcast. In fact, she's got 2 issues coming out January 1st, and you're definitely going to want to get those issues, especially because yours truly is being featured on the front cover. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to that date. Anyway, we have Kitty Foss and Amy Martin, host of Intuition of the Soul. Nick Rasta, who's our real estate agent and also editor, writer, and journalist. So if you are looking to write your book, a blog, or an article or 2, reach out to him. Kendrick Greer, who's our in-house astrologer, whom I like to call our in-house astrologer. Tammy Moses, she is the founder and chief encouragement officer and founder of the Hoarding Solution. And I'm sure you know at least one person, maybe even yourself, that might have a hoarding issue. So again, those are our partners that make the show run week after week after week. Please feel free to reach out to any of them who might very well be resonating with you. Today's show is all about how colorisity readings work. And there's going to be a lot of information showing up in today's show. But before we get into that, just trying to get some order in my desk here. Before we get into that, let's talk about the energy that's going on right now. Week after week after week, there's always a planet or 2 that is either coming out of one zodiac sign, moving into another, or going retrograde or going direct. In this instance, as of yesterday, Neptune, our planet of the spiritual journey, spiritual awakening, has just gone direct. It's been in Pisces, still in Pisces. And what does that mean for you? Well, again, it's about your spiritual evolution. It's helping you to discover who you are and tap into your spiritual gifts. We all have, if not one, many spiritual gifts that we can attune into. And I like to say, since probably the last 2 years, you are probably wondering what's going on, excuse me, and why you might be feeling, seeing, hearing, sensing, tasting, smelling, whatever it is. And you might be kind of curious of what the hell that's all about. Excuse me. And that has to do with Neptune's energy. And now that it's gone direct, you may very well start to see unexpected things going on. So if you continue to follow the show and of course follow me on Facebook, you'll be able to learn more and more about what it is that's going on within you and why, as some might say, weird or woo-woo things are happening for you. So what I like to do is also let you know that in addition to Neptune going direct, I'm not sure what this is about. We also have Mercury and Venus entering into Capricorn. Capricorn is our zodiac sign of our soul's purpose, which is perfectly aligned with Neptune's energy when you really think about it. So Mercury enters Capricorn on December 6th, which is only 2 days away from today. Mercury is our planet of communication. How we may be able to connect with spirit, to connect with our spiritual gifts. And then Venus goes into Capricorn on December 9th. So within a few days of each other, we're going to have a lot of help, a lot of support in our soul purpose, connecting with our spiritual gifts, and recognizing that our spiritual gifts, our spiritual journey, perhaps some of us call it traveling through the dark side to get to where we need to get to so we can heal ourselves, transform into a higher vibration, and then help others to do the same. So that is the energy we have going on. Also want to just point out that Saturn will be entering Pisces as of March 27th. What does that actually mean for you? Saturn has been sitting in Aquarius energy for over 5 months. And once it leaves out of Aquarius and moves into Pisces, again, understanding that Pisces is also about our spiritual awakening as well. Saturn is the structure, our foundation, organizing, scheduling. And what is that going to do? How is that going to help you really tap into your spiritual gifts? To learn more about that, I invite you to come join me. I'm currently offering a 12-week astrology course, which starts up on December 12th. To learn more about that course and to see if it's the right fit for you to register for, you can email healingwithin76@gmail.com. All that being said, let's shake up the cards. Let's find out what we need to know based on Neptune going direct and Mercury and Venus moving into Capricorn's energy, and how it's going to help us with one chakra, a number, and an affirmation. And let's see what's in store for each of us. Here we go. Here's our card for today. Well, how appropriate is this card? Self-love. After all, it's Sunday, and Sunday is known for self-care day, and I hope that every day for you is a self-care day. But self-love, when we can tap into this Neptune's energy of connecting to our spiritual awakening, and also recognizing that this can be the very day that you can expect those unexpected surprises to show up. Good surprises. The chakra to work on is the root chakra. It's so important that when you are connecting with your spiritual gifts, that you ground your energy. Otherwise, it could feel a little woo-ish, overwhelming, uncomfortable even, when you are experiencing things that you really can't explain. Now, I know for me, having conversations with the general population, talking about how I see spirit, hear spirit, sit with spirit, could be a little weird. So it's really important to ground your energy so you can stay focused and be able to articulate these conversations with the right people that can better understand your language as you speak about the spiritual realm. 7 and 3 so perfectly aligned with where Mercury and Venus will be entering into Capricorn. It's your soul's work in this lifetime to activate your spiritual gifts. Many years back, many people known as psychics or witches were actually killed due to their magic that they had, where now it's more welcoming. So allow yourself to step into that. The best way to activate your spiritual abilities is sitting in that 7 energy of quiet meditation and allowing yourself to connect with whatever those spiritual gifts are for you. That 3 energy is simply connected to communication. Communicating with your higher power, communicating with all your spirit guides that there are for you. And know that every person who has crossed over that you have love of, such as your loved ones, can help you through this journey. That soul's purpose. So I think this is a perfect card, and I have a feeling that this card is going to show up again later in this show, one way or another, in reference to conversations that's going to be taking place. So my question to you is, how is this resonating with you? Do you ground your energy throughout your day? Do you provide yourself with self-love? And are you stepping into your soul's purpose? After all, that's why we're here. Love that message. So all that being said, I said a whole mouthful of stuff, a lot of food for thought. Today's a great day to ground your energy, apply self-love, self-care. All that being said, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And when I get back, I'm going to be introducing you to my guest and volunteer for today. And I'm super excited for today's show because I'm really interested to see how this card reading takes place. So I'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have two amazing peoples here, my guest and volunteer. But before I dive in, we all know the routine. We know how this works. I need to go back and share a little bit about what I shared in the first part of the show, such as our card. I always love to come back and share this. The card for today is about self-love. It's associated with your root chakra. And considering that Neptune just went direct as of yesterday, this is really a great time to implement some grounding, some root energy, so you can be more connected to those spiritual gifts that we're all here to activate. There's not a person on this earth that doesn't have at least one spiritual gift. After all, let's just say about, over 11 years ago, who the hell knew that I would be doing half of the stuff that I'm doing based on the spiritual realm? So it is very important to stay grounded. Notice their heads are shaking. 73 is all about our soul's purpose, to why we came here in this lifetime to do what we came here to do. So with all that being said, ground your energy, self-love, and tap into your soul's purpose. For more about what I shared earlier, come back later and watch from the beginning. But for now, super excited to be here with these two amazing women, where today is all about a demonstration in regards to being able to see firsthand how card readings take place, and not just any card reading. This is not about a tarot card reading. This is not about angel card readings. This is a whole different type of card reading in itself. And what I'm going to do for right now, only because I will not be able to give it as much justice as it needs, I'm going to take a moment to allow Deborah to talk about her card deck. And then we're going to dive into this amazing card reading that's going to take place today, where Deborah is going to give a card reading to our volunteer Kitty, who's going to be very vulnerable today. Because if you've ever had a card reading, it is about vulnerability. Most people want a card reading done in the privacy of their home or at an event, where it's just between the reader and the client. Where today we get to share this with all of you. So Kitty has absolutely no idea, at least I don't think she has an idea of what's going to show up in this card reading. So vulnerability is definitely the key today. So Deborah, please say your whole name, because I don't want to screw it up.
It's Deborah Beatty.
And talk about your cards.
Well, the card deck is actually an extension of my Colorisity system, which I created years ago. It's based on 9 color attributes, and the way that I developed the cards was to create an avatar that matched the attribute for the colors. So there are 9 colors, 9 avatars, and 3 power cards that potentiate those 3. And I just want to slip in here real quick. It's interesting that the card that you pulled today, Joanne, it's a 73, which in my system equates to a 1, which is red. And red is all about self-care and the self as well. So I think that's kind of interesting that there's a congruence there.
Yes, and it's so interesting you said that, because in my introduction, I actually did say that this card was going to be showing up again, besides the fact that I was going to talk about it, but I had a feeling that you were going to talk about it as well. So thank you for confirming what I had a feeling on. So go ahead.
So I started doing readings with the cards, and the accuracy was really surprising to me. It's like when your child goes out into the world and does something really cool, it's the same kind of feeling. I have a mother's pride in them, and I've been using them now. I've probably given over 700 readings now at events and things with them, and so this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and your cards can actually also be purchased, correct?
Yes, they can.
Yes.
They can be purchased on my website or on my Etsy store, and I'll be glad to include a link with the videos.
Excellent, beautiful. So for today, like I said, today is all about a demo. So now I know you and Kitty had a chance to chat prior to today's show, because I mean that's usually what happens, just to let the viewers know what goes on behind the scenes, that this is not like the very first time the two of you are connecting together, whereas like if hypothetically you were at a fair or some sort of an event, it would literally be the first time you're connecting with Kitty. So Kitty, for you, how excited are you for this reading today? From a scale of 1 to 10, 10, you're like off the roof, and 1, it's like, it's just another reading.
9.5.
There we go. All right. Love it.
And we've had, not only we had a chance to talk, but, I actually had a chance to do some work. And the first thing that came through was color. And I called her, I'm like, what does this mean? On her system. And she goes, well, funny you should say that. That's my color. And so we were getting ready. And so, yeah, I'm very excited.
All right. So because Kitty's excited, I'm excited. I know Deborah is excited to give this reading, and I'm sure the viewers are just as excited as we are. Why don't we get this going on? So Deborah, this is going to be all about you. I'm literally handing over the mic to you. Do what you need to do for this to happen.
Okay, Kitty, here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to get yourself in whatever space usually works for you to be receptive to information that's coming in. I'd like you to take a moment and think about a question or something that you'd like me to address. I don't necessarily, when I do these in person, I don't need to hear the question. Let's do this and see whether I do or not, but bring it to the top of your mind.
Okay.
And just hold on to that and imagine it coming to me. And let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Those fell out, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, the way that I do these, I do past, present, and future. And the cards that I got for you, for your past, is an indigo emergence. For your present is a yellow decoy. And your future is an indigo planifest. So let's talk about the colors first. Indigo is potential. It's awakening of intuition. It's spirituality awakening. You're creating beauty in the world. It's being able to have a vision beyond manifestation. It isn't really important for an indigo to actually see what they are envisioning in physical form. They know it exists, and it's a time of creation. As I said, it's a time of potential. And so that being in your past would indicate to me that you've been ongoingly developing your spiritual gifts, knowing that there's something there for you, knowing that it can go somewhere, that there's a reason for it behind it, and seeking to know what that reason is. Your present is yellow. Yellow is logic and reason and intellect and the dream. This is where you are bringing that vision more into clarity and existence. Yellow is where my creatives live, painters and musicians. It's what if as opposed to what is, living in that kind of thing. And I think you're finally bringing all of this that you have spent a lifetime developing into fruition. This is the time that you've been exploring, and then now you know what it is you have. And so now you're looking to bring it forward. And the fact that you have indigo in your future again says that you're going to be on a journey and exploring the potential with that vision. Okay. Does that resonate at all so far?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, as I said, in the past was emergence. Okay. We'll talk about the avatars now. And what emergence is bringing something forth into light. I always say coming out from behind the veil. A lot of us with our gifts have always experienced I don't know, call it a shyness, call it a reluctance to come out and say, hey, I do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mainstream people are going to burn you at the stake or something or whatever we think is going to happen, and we just aren't confident enough in ourselves to say, yes, this is what I do. Like I said, until 8 years ago, I didn't know that this color work that I do was a thing. And so with you, it's that potential. It's time for you to pull those apart and step forward. Decoy actually is more of there's a lot of noise out there, and it's to listen to yourself and listen to your instincts, listen to your gut, listen to your soul, because you know what's truth. Your heart knows what's truth. Your spirit knows what's truth. And not to be dissuaded by anybody else's idea about what you're doing. It's decoy shows up. There's, like I said, it's more about cutting through the noise that's out there. And it can also be your own little neener machine going, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this, yada, yada, yada. It's time, it gets in your face and you got to go this way. And it's time to go, well, thank you for sharing, and just park it to the side. I'm really, really excited that this one is Planifest. Planifest is my own word. And Planifest means planning to manifest and manifesting your plan. And so the fact that there's potential with the Planifest tells me that in this situation, what you've done in your past and what you have created a vision for in your present, you're going to explore the ways that you can bring that into fruition, into the physical, out of the metaphysical and the superficial. And you're going to figure out step by step by step. The way you Planifest is to see it as if it's already happened and work backwards so that each step calls the next one into being, because you already know the end result. And in fact, if I can diverge just for a second, I'm actually doing a Planifest workshop the week between Christmas and New Year's. So if anybody out there is interested at all, my contact information is available underneath this, and I can tell you more. And I'm also on Facebook, and I'll be publicizing it there. So anyway, Kitty, does that resonate?
Oh, yes. Let's just talk about the past. As I began to read astrological charts, and I would tell people, but I almost called myself the reluctant astrologer, because I had gifts and I understood them greater than most people, for especially how much I use them, and other abilities. And I didn't really know what structure to resonate them with. And I kind of hid in a closet behind a veil. And finally, it was people like Joanne, would you just call yourself an astrologer and knock it off? And basically, and
yeah, literally.
Yeah, and I get the whole idea about the noise, trying to, oh, there are so many things. Go this way for this. Go this way for this. I'm like, no, because part of it is the learning to know what the next step is,
and learning to trust that you know what you know. That's for a lot of us. That's really hard to learn, to trust our intuition. It's this fabulous thing.
I trust my intuition. What I don't trust is that it's valuable for other people.
Exactly.
That's the difference. That's my Chiron wound in Aquarius. Not good enough for the big group, not ever. I know when I get something without a doubt. I've heard people talk about it, and I know it's I don't know if I should trust. That's never been me. Never. But is it worth me saying? Is there any merit in it? Is the next step of that for me? Yeah.
And I'm actually sure there's a lot of people, whether they're watching with us right now or just in general, because I fall into that same category as Kitty in reference to trusting the intuition, but second guessing on, is what I'm going to share of value? And I think that's a biggie for many of us, is that second guessing of, okay, we know what we know, and I know for me, it's one of those situations where people say, well, how do you know what you know? And my answer usually is, I don't know how I know, but I know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I do realize that for a lot of people, that's the challenge. But the other challenge for some of us is there's excuse the expression, so what? So what? I know it. Big deal. you
Exactly.
know, and that's been the reluctance all the way through. Yeah, I get all this stuff, but is it going to do anybody any good?
And it
And
has to do with your self-confidence, and that I'm just going to put this out there because I know it's important, but we've been told for a lot of our life that it's not. You
yeah,
know, that's the realm where we've probably been discouraged the most by, everybody else around us. But is not necessarily trusting ourselves, but trusting going forward, trusting putting it out there, trusting coming out from behind the veil. And
yeah.
it's something that any one of us who have spiritual gifts really need to work on, and just, put on the army boots and come on out.
Mhm.
The other thing that I do also is Colorisity natal charts, and I did one for Kitty.
Yeah, and I know we're going to be talking about it. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
Now,
yeah,
before you dive into the talking about it, just explain for the viewers, because like myself, it's like, oh, colonoscopy natal chart. There's
yeah.
another type of natal chart. So
Yes, there
let's
is.
let's share a little bit about that.
Well, this is something that I pioneered, and it's a mathematical algorithm based loosely on numerology, and it talks about the color rays that were active at the time of your birth, kind of like your astrological natal chart, the houses and the signs and all that. Well, this talks about the color rays that were active and those attributes, and they actually, I've been doing 6 years of research on this now, and they actually continue lifelong. It's based on your full name at birth and your birth date. And unlike astrology, it's not about the time or the place or anything there. But based on just your birth name and your birth date, I can tell you what colors were active. And what they show is who you are in the world, your expression, how you show up for in public. What motivates you when you come to a crossroads, the your instinctive reaction to being faced with a choice or a decision, and your secret self, or who you are when you think nobody's looking, and when you're really honest with yourself, who you really are. And then your environment, which is what surrounds you and what lessons you're here to learn. And that's what you get in one of my natal charts.
Excellent. I love that. Now, before we dive into that, in order for this show to run, we have commercials. But before we go to that commercial break, Demora, if you can share your contact information, I believe it's a website that you're sharing
Sure.
for the viewers.
My website is createdlife.com. That's created, not creative. Createdlife.com. My email is contact@createdlife.com. If you want to find me on Facebook, I'm there as Deborah Beatty or Created Life Strategies. I can even give my phone number, which is 503-689-1336. Comes to my office here.
Excellent. And Kitty, for our viewers, because I'm sure they're going to be interested to know how all this lands with you, let them know your contact information.
Well, my name is Kitty Budewig Foss. Good luck spelling it, and that's how you can find me on Facebook. But you can always find me at Intuition of the Soul, and that email address is intuitionofthesoul11@gmail.com. And I also teach a course about astrology called Optimize Your Energy with the Moon and the Stars, and that's also available at Facebook.
Excellent, excellent. So with all that being said, we're going to take that quick commercial break, and then when we come back, Deborah is going to continue speaking about the color natal chart and do some more demonstrations. So we'll be right back.
Are you ready for solutions and connections? If so, I can help. Hi, I'm Tammy Moses, and I help the peripheral people resolve hoarding issues in a holistic way. I would love to connect with you and learn more about how I can help in your unique situation. Please send me an email to thehoardingsolution@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with you.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have two amazing peoples here. My guest and volunteer today is a demonstration, which is why anytime you see a volunteer on the show, that's a little hint that there's a demo going on. And anyone who's interested in learning how to come on the show to do your demonstration, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com, and I'll give you all the information so you too can share what it is you do, because there's many people out there who needs this information. So before we went to commercial break, we were chatting about color natal charts, and Deborah's just about to continue doing her demonstration in regards to the work that she's doing with Kitty. So if you did not catch the beginning of this, feel free later to go back to watch from the beginning, because you definitely always like to get the beginning of this. And if you have not actually met Deborah yet, you can watch the episode from, I think it's 2 weeks ago on November 20th. You can watch that too on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and of course here. So all that being said, Deborah, rather, take it away. I always want to call you Deborah, but it's got that little twitch to it.
That's okay. Well, that's because I'm a little twitchy. But anyway, yeah, I did a Colorisity natal chart for Kitty, and I've sent it to her, so she has this, so there are no real surprises. But as far as what it actually means, Kitty, it's really, for me, very on brand for you, for what I know of you so far after our conversations in the past. And your expression, or who you are in the world, is blue. Now, blue is the color of communication, of clarity of message. You soothe nerves. You're very calming to be around. You appear to understand innately various aspects of life without proof. You just kind of know. You haven't had to be educated in it. This is not your first time here. And you just know some things, and you're willing to share them with others. Your inner urge or motivation, when you come to a crossroads, you tend to go red. And red is the I am energy, the power, the passion, all of that that's internal. And you tend to check in with yourself first. How is this going to benefit you? And it's and it's not really making being selfish a bad thing. It's how is this going to affect me in my life and the rest of my plans? How will this benefit and take care of me going forward? I have, it's really important to you that you have safety in whatever it is that you do to move forward. You're not just going out there and taking a wild chance and hoping that you'll survive on all the different levels. You think about it a little bit. Your secret self, which after the reading I gave you is no surprise, is Rose. Rose is a higher octave of red, which it marries the spiritual with the physical. You've already been through the visual spectrum, and you've taken the lessons that you've learned on your journey, and now you're putting spiritual and physical together to manifest something really, really powerful. I've got to look at my cheat sheet. In your understanding of the life process, you recognize the unity of all the components. That given any situation, you look at all the different parts that comprise it, and it's really simple for you to be able to look at that from, the view from above. You don't have to get in with the dramatic messes and stuff like that. You can see what's going on. And your environment, or the lessons that you're here to learn, is orange. And we talked last time I was on about orange, and orange is balance with a capital B. It's about sensing what needs to be balanced that maybe not. For you, it's instinctive. If you walk into a room, you know when things are out of balance. You can feel it, you can taste it, you can hear it, and you will do whatever it takes to bring that situation into balance. And balance is that, and with orange, it's that nanosecond between inhale and exhale where nothing exists and everything's possible. So that ties right in with your indigo, with potential and possibility.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Well, first of all, that's David G's "The Space Where We All Meet is Between the Breath,"
Yep.
and that I understand exactly what you mean about when I come to a crossroad. I check with my internal compass, and I trust my internal compass above all. And if it says it's wrong, or it isn't right, or I'm unsure, then that compass either says wait, but that is the I am that's connected to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the rose makes sense because that's what I'm checking it against.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know that theoretically today is not about that Q&A because that's for the 18th. But I do have one question for Kitty. And that question is regarding you having that orange energy and you walking into a room. Is it true for you that you can walk into a room and know that the energy is or is not balanced?
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I never did parties. Never liked, in college and whatever, parties. There's too many things going on. And what I would always say is I didn't have a role because I didn't know what else to do. There were so many scenarios going on. And yeah, I could walk into a room and sometimes I walk right back out when I check with that compass, because it is important that I can do something. If not, I prefer not to be in the energy.
I love this.
People that are orange, it's physically uncomfortable to be in that kind of a situation.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It can almost make them orange, almost like a green color when you walk into space and it's just overwhelming.
I'm not a big fan of concerts. I'm not a big fan. I like plays. I like smaller venue kinds of things. It's not that I can't do a crowd. I've been to Mardi Gras or whatever. I just don't enjoy them. Does that make sense, Deborah? I just don't enjoy them.
Makes complete sense.
there's nothing I like about them. It's like, and I get that other people do. It's just I don't, you know.
Yes, I love this. I love this. And Deborah, we are coming to a close on the reading. Is there anything left that you want to share with Kitty before we do come to that complete close?
Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to tell you is that when you look at the rays and their influence, even within the natal chart, orange has by far the biggest influence on you. And you know, so that striving for balance is going to underlay everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am Libra at midheaven, my persona. Yeah. So I actually really understand that if it's out of balance, I'm not meant to, if I can't reset it, if I don't seem to have the power, it's time for me to move on. Bless you, and I move on.
Yes, I love this. I love this. So it's so interesting because, again, with Kitty being the story of astrologer, and then Deborah is sitting here sharing about color natal charts, and even just with her card reading alone, all this information. So anyone out there who's interested in learning about whether or not what colors you have, and if you happen to have orange as your primary source of color, whereas you walk into a room and you're like, yeah, can't be in the space right now, this would be a great time that you can reach out to Deborah to schedule your reading, or for that matter, to even take advantage of the, let me see if I can say it right, Planifest workshop that she has coming up in about right before the new year. So Deborah, just share your website with people so they know how to reach out to you, because I'm sure on your website, all your information is there as well.
Yeah, it's createdlife.com.
Awesome. And again, if you're interested in connecting with Deborah for a reading, for her workshop, or anything else, this is definitely the time to do it, you know, right before the holiday, right before the new year. As I always say, readings are essential as we move into the new year, because it helps us to really put into the steps that we need to take for the new year. And Kitty, please let them know how they can reach you as well.
You can reach me at intuitionofthesoul11@gmail.com, or you can find me if you write my name down and message me on Messenger too. So
excellent. So, ladies, this has been so much fun and super excited. And for all of our viewers, in 2 weeks, on the 18th of December, the two of them will be back here because, again, there's Q&A. There's always Q&A. There's always questions that the participant has that she wants to find out more, and of course there's always questions that the reader wants to know from the participant. So that's all going to take place on the 18th. We're sort of going to keep you all hanging at the edge of your chair, wanting to know like what questions Kitty has, what questions Deborah wants to ask Kitty regarding what holds true for her, what is new to her, and so much more. So we'll all be back here on the 18th.
I know I'm supposed to keep a dream journal too over this period of time. Yeah.
Yes. And always know, anytime you get a reading, at least from my point of view, and I'm sure from Deborah's, as Kitty just shared, and I know with Kitty's readings, there's always homework. It's not just about a reading. There's homework to be done in order for you to really get the best from your reading. It's not just getting a reading and moving it about. I always say that when a reader gives you a reading, they're planting seeds in regards to what you can actually do and manifest. So there's always homework. All that being said, ladies, thank you so much for being here. Kitty, being able to be vulnerable today, sharing and being open to all that Deborah shared with you. And Deborah, thank you for sharing your gift with us today.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to the next time.
Yes, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I will be back with the conclusion of today's show.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly look through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hi, I'm CJ. The Author's Porch is a community where you find good books and good people. We collaborate with services that deliver quality to authors and publish a magazine for authors by authors. Come by, let us feature you or review your book. Coffee is always on, and no matter what time you arrive or where you come from, the porch light is always on.
Did you know that stress and unprocessed emotions can store in your body, creating more muscle tension and pain, causing illness and disease to flare up? With the help of Chakra Balance Reiki healing, you can begin to feel better within one session. Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. And I would like to help you release issues from your tissues as you release emotional weight and begin to feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For more information, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. If you are just tuning in now, welcome. However, you're definitely going to have to come back and watch today's show because it was a demonstration. And when we have a demonstration, it means the guest gets to demo the work they do. And we have a volunteer that gets to be vulnerable in regards to receiving insight from the guest. And that's what today was all about. So you'll have to come back and watch, and you could do so by watching on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and also here for that matter. But with all that being said, just want to share some insight in regards to some of what my partners are offering. For those of you who are interested in connecting, there's a flyer with each and every one of them on. Excuse me. We're going to start off with one of mine, which is Miracles and Mystical Medium. Miracles and Mystical Medicine Psychic Club. Brand new event coming on where I'm going to be bringing psychics on every month. You can join us the second Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. All the information on the flyer. The Author's Porch magazine and podcast, as I mentioned earlier, 2 issues coming out January 1st. Intuition of the Soul. Then we have Kendrick Greer, our in-house astrologer. Find Your Place with Nick Rafter. Excuse me. And of course, Spirit Messages and Energy Insight. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Last but not least, Joanne's Cosmic Energy radio show, the first Wednesday of the month, as I will be giving you insight based on December 22's Cosmic Energy forecast. So come join me. It has been a pleasure. I hope that today there's something you learned, even though it was a demo. And if you do want to reach out to any of the guests or volunteers, feel free to go back, watch the show. All the information is there. I do look forward to seeing you back here on the 18th, where both Deborah and Kitty will be here again with a Q&A, because there's always questions when there's a reading. And I'm sure you're kind of interested to find out what landed for Kitty, what she's kept in her journal, because that's the homework she has to do for the next 2 weeks. So come join us on the 18th, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Until then, enjoy your time. Stay tuned, and I'll see you all back here in 2 weeks. Bye-bye for now.